Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Rupinder Kaur Chawla with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz sign joint declaration of intent for establishing green and sustainable development partnership. Prime Minister Modi to reach Denmark today on second leg of visit to 3 European nations to hold bilateral meeting with his Danish counterpart Mette Frederiksen in Copenhagen. Prime Minister to participate in the second India-Nordic summit tomorrow. President Ramnath Kovind lays foundation stone of Bhagwan Mahavir Super Speciality Hospital at Rohini in New Delhi. Election Commission announces schedule for Assembly by-election to 1 seat each in Odisha, Kerala and Uttarakhand. Portals of the Gangotri and Yamunotri shrines open for devotees on the auspicious occasion of Akshaya Tritiya. Eid ul-Fitr being celebrated with religious fervour and gaiety across the country. President, Vice President and Prime Minister extend greetings. Second edition of Khelo India University Games to conclude in Bengaluru this evening. And in IPL cricket, Gujarat Titans to take on Punjab Kings at Dr. D.Y. Patil Stadium in Navi Mumbai today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that whenever the world faces a problem, India comes forward with a solution. He called it the strength of New India. Interacting with the Indian community at Berlin in Germany last night, Mr. Modi said there is a need to follow the mantra of minimum government and maximum governance. He stressed that a country progresses when people of the nation proactively work towards developing it. He also stated that he is reducing burden of government and letting people give direction to New India. Prime Minister Modi reached Germany yesterday on the first leg of his visit to 3 European nations. Addressing the Indian diaspora, Mr. Modi said political will is needed for reform. He highlighted that from 200 to 400 startups 8 years ago, India today has 68,000 startups.
लोकल के प्रति जो क्रेज पैदा हुआ है वो वैसा ही है जब आजादी के आंदोलन के समय स्वदेशी वस्तुओं के लिए पैदा हुआ था। अरसे तक हमने देखा कि लोग ये बताया करते थे कि ये चीज हमने उस देश से खरीदी है, ये चीज उस देश की है, लेकिन आज भारत के लोगों में अपने स्थानीय उत्पादों को लेकर के गर्व की नई अनुभूति है।
Prime Minister Modi and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz also co-chaired the 6th edition of the India-Germany Intergovernmental Consultations IGC yesterday. The biennial IGC is a unique dialogue format that also sees participation of several ministers from both sides. This was the Prime Minister's first IGC with Chancellor Scholz and also the first such government-to-government consultations of the new German government which assumed office in December last year. On the Ukraine crisis, Mr. Modi said India has from the very beginning called for ceasefire as it believes dialogue is the only way forward. He said no party can emerge victorious out of this conflict and therefore India supports peace. He said India is very concerned about the humanitarian impact of this war. Prime Minister Modi and Chancellor Scholz signed the joint declaration of intent establishing the Green and Sustainable Development Partnership. This partnership envisages a whole-of-government approach to India-Germany cooperation on sustainable development goals and climate action, under which Germany has agreed to make an advance commitment of 10 billion euros of new and additional development assistance until 2030.
भारत ने ग्लासगो में अपने क्लाइमेट एम्बिशन को बढ़ाकर विश्व को ये दर्शाया है कि हमारे लिए ग्रीन एंड सस्टेनेबल ग्रोथ एक आर्टिकल ऑफ फेथ है। इस नई पार्टनरशिप के तहत जर्मनी ने 2030 तक 10 बिलियन यूरो की अतिरिक्त विकास सहायता से भारत के ग्रीन ग्रोथ प्लान्स को सपोर्ट करने का निर्णय लिया है। इसके लिए मैं जर्मनी और चांसलर शोर्ज को धन्यवाद देता हूं।
India and Germany have also signed a joint declaration of intent on Indo-German Hydrogen Task Force. The declaration was signed virtually yesterday between Power and New and Renewable Energy Minister R.K. Singh and German Minister for Economic Affairs and Climate Change Dr. Robert Habeck. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said his Germany visit has been a productive one and thanked the German government for their hospitality. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said his talks with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz were extensive and so were the intergovernmental consultations. He further said he got a great opportunity to interact with business and Indian community leaders. Prime Minister Narendra Modi left for Denmark's capital Copenhagen this afternoon from Berlin in Germany for the second leg of his visit to 3 European nations. Prime Minister Modi will hold a bilateral meeting with Prime Minister of Denmark, Mette Frederiksen. Both leaders will review the progress of the Green Strategic Partnership, which was the first of its kind arrangement between India and Denmark. He will also call on Queen Margaret II. The visit will provide both sides an opportunity to shape new elements of partnership in the field of skill development, shipping, agri-technology and mobility. Tomorrow, the Prime Minister will participate in the second India-Nordic summit being hosted by Denmark. The summit will focus on subjects like post-pandemic economic recovery, climate change, innovation and technology, renewable energy, the evolving global security scenario, and India-Nordic cooperation in the Arctic region. Nordic countries are important partners for India in sustainability, renewable energy, digitization and innovation. The visit will help in expanding India's multifaceted cooperation with the Nordic region. Our correspondent reports.
This visit will provide India and Denmark an opportunity to review progress as well as examine ways to further expand their multifaceted cooperation. This is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's first visit to Denmark and third summit-level interaction with the Danish Prime Minister. During the course of the day, Prime Minister will attend an India-Denmark business forum and also address members of the Indian diaspora. The discussions will focus on bilateral issues as well as issues of global and regional interest. The bilateral trade in goods and services between India and Denmark has grown by 78% from $2.8 billion in 2016 to $5 billion in 2021. The major export items from India to Denmark are textiles, apparels, vehicles and components, metal goods, iron and steel, footwear and travel goods. With Dipendra Kumar, Suparna Saikya, AIR News, Delhi.
During the last leg of his tour, the Prime Minister will briefly stop over in Paris and meet French President Emmanuel Macron. The visit to France will provide an opportunity to carry forward the high-level engagement between the two countries post the French presidential elections.
President Ram Nath Kovind today laid the foundation stone of Bhagwan Mahavir Super Speciality Hospital at Rohini in New Delhi. Addressing the gathering, Mr. Kovind said laying the foundation stone on the occasion of Akshaya Tritiya is very auspicious. He said acts of service are given prominence in Jainism.
50 बिस्तरों वाले इस अस्पताल में 250 बिस्तरों की व्यवस्था के साथ अति आधुनिक हॉस्पिटल बनाने की योजना है, जिसे वर्ष 2023 तक पूरा करने का लक्ष्य। यह प्रसन्नता का विषय है कि इस सुपर स्पेशलिटी अस्पताल में उच्च स्तरीय स्वास्थ्य सेवाएं समाज के सभी वर्गों को किफायती दरों पर तथा गरीबों को निःशुल्क उपलब्ध कराई जाने की योजना है। सेवा धर्म का पालन करते हुए कोविड-19 महामारी के दौरान हमारे स्वास्थ्य कर्मियों, डॉक्टरों और नर्सों ने अपनी जान जोखिम में डालकर देशवासियों की सेवा की एक मिसाल कायम की। आज भी ध्यान रखना है कि अभी कोविड पूरी तरह समाप्त नहीं हुआ है। मैं सभी देशवासियों से पूर्णतः सतर्क रहने तथा सरकार द्वारा दिए गए सभी दिशा निर्देशों का पालन करने की अपील भी करता हूं।
President Ram Nath Kovind will embark on a 4-day visit to Assam and Mizoram from today. The President will address the 61st Annual Conference of Bodo Sahitya Sabha at Tamulpur in Assam tomorrow. He will also grace the valedictory function of Northeast Festival at Guwahati, organized by the Ministry of Donor as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. On Thursday, the President will address the 16th convocation of the Mizoram University at Aizawl.
The Election Commission has announced the schedule for by-election to 3 assembly constituencies in Odisha, Kerala and Uttarakhand. The by-election to Brajraj Nagar constituency in Odisha, Trikakara seat in Kerala and Champavat constituency in Uttarakhand will be held on the 31st of this month. The Election Commission said counting of votes will take place on the 3rd of next month. The Gazette notification for the election will be issued tomorrow and the last date of submission of nomination for these seats is the 11th of May. Union Minister for Home Affairs and Cooperation Amit Shah called upon the young generation to contribute their might to make India a Vishwaguru. He was speaking in Bengaluru today after inaugurating Nrupatunga University and laying the foundation stone of its education block. He said Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav being celebrated now is the time when the next generation must resolve to take the country to the top place globally by 2047 when we celebrate 100 years of our independence. He said preventing tax theft is one of the ways to contribute to the development of the country, listing out the initiatives taken by the government in the higher education sector. The Home Minister said that several institutions like IIT and IIM have been given impetus. New universities have been started in rural settings. The northeast region of the country has been allocated 22 new universities. Ladakh is also getting its first university. Earlier in the day, Union Minister for Home Affairs garlanded the statue of Lord Basaveshwara on the occasion of Parshuram Jayanti in Bengaluru today.
बसवण्णा ने सैकड़ों साल पहले समाज के अंदर सर्वस्पर्शीय सर्वसमावेशक लोकतंत्र कैसा हो सकता है, इसका उदाहरण इसी महान कर्नाटक की भूमि पर अनुभव मंडपम के द्वारा किया। उन्होंने अपने वचनों के द्वारा समाज के हर वर्ग की समस्याओं को समाधान के बहुत सुंदर और सरल रास्ते दिखाए।
More than 189 crore 41 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Health Ministry said more than 16 lakh 23,000 doses were administered in the last 24 hours. During the same period, 2,911 new cases were reported in the country. India's active caseload currently stands at 19,137 and it is at 0.04%. The recovery rate is currently at 98.74%. Over 193 crore 53 lakh vaccine doses have been provided to states and union territories so far. The vaccines have been given through the central government free of cost channel and direct state procurement category. The nationwide COVID-19 vaccination started on 16th of January last year. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz signed joint declaration of intent for establishing the Green and Sustainable Development Partnership. Prime Minister Modi to reach Denmark today on second leg of visit to 3 European nations to hold bilateral meeting with his Danish counterpart Mette Frederiksen in Copenhagen. Prime Minister to participate in the second India-Nordic Summit tomorrow. President Ram Nath Kovind lays foundation stone of Bhagwan Mahavir Super Speciality Hospital at Rohini, New Delhi. Election Commission announces schedule for assembly by-election to 1 seat each in Odisha, Kerala and Uttarakhand. Portals of Gangotri and Yamunotri shrines open for devotees on the auspicious occasion of Akshaya Tritiya. Eid ul-Fitr being celebrated with religious fervor and gaiety across the country. President, Vice President and Prime Minister extend greetings. Second edition of Khelo India University Games to conclude in Bengaluru this evening. And in IPL cricket, Gujarat Titans to take on Punjab Kings at Dr. D.Y. Patil Stadium in Navi Mumbai today. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
कंपटीशन की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब। इस बार का विषय है पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन। सवाल भेजने की अंतिम तारीख है 4 मई। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
Welcome back to the Midday News. India's total coal production stood at 661.54 lakh tons during the month of April this year, while Coal India Limited and its subsidiaries produced 534.7 lakh tons of coal. Production by Singareni Collieries Company Limited stood at 53.23 lakh tons and production from captive mines touched 73.61 lakh tons during last month. As per the provisional statistics of the Ministry of Coal, the total offtake of the coal sector was 708.68 lakh tons during the month. Coal India has achieved the highest production of 534.7 lakh tons during April this year, registering 6.02% growth. Eid ul-Fitr is being celebrated with religious fervour and gaiety across the country today. The festival marks the culmination of the fasting month of Ramzan. People dressed in their best offered Eid prayers in Eidgahs and grand mosques with full capacity for the first time after relaxation of restrictions imposed due to the COVID pandemic. In Delhi, main Eid congregations were held at Jama Masjid, Fatehpuri Masjid and Shahi Eidgah. Elaborate security arrangements have been made for the occasion. In Gulf countries, Eid was celebrated yesterday. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have greeted people on the occasion. In Telangana, Eid ul-Fitr is also being celebrated with the pomp and gaiety across the state, marking the end of month-long fasting during Ramzan. Elaborate arrangements have been made for special Eid prayers at Eidgahs and mosques. More from our correspondent.
With no restrictions in place this time, elaborate arrangements have been made at Eidgahs and masjids. The state government too has resumed distribution of Ramzan Tofa as it distributes every year to the poor. Eidgahs and masjids have been decked up for the special prayers. The Hyderabad traffic police have diverted traffic at many places in connection with the Eid ul-Fitr prayers in the twin cities of Hyderabad and Secunderabad, especially at Meeralam Eidgah and hockey grounds at Masaptank till 11:30 a.m. today. Lakshmi, AR News, Hyderabad.
Eid ul-Fitr is also being celebrated across Kerala by the Muslim community with religious fervour and piety. Community members enthusiastically participated in celebrations after the COVID-induced restrictions were lifted after a gap of 2 years. People offered prayers at the mosques and Eidgahs at several places across the state. They wore new clothes, exchanged greetings and visited their near and dear ones as part of the celebrations. Charitable deeds such as distribution of alms and feeding the poor were also performed. Along with the rest of the country, Jammu and Kashmir is also celebrating Eid ul-Fitr today. More from our Srinagar correspondent.
Eid ul-Fitr festival across Kashmir Valley is being observed with religious fervor and gaiety. The festival marks the culmination of the fasting month of Ramzan by offering the thanksgiving prayers to Almighty God. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha has greeted the people of Jammu and Kashmir on the occasion of Eid ul-Fitr festival. In his message of felicitations, he said that the festival of Eid inspires all to work towards building a compassionate, harmonious, peaceful and prosperous society. He expressed hope that the auspicious day strengthens mutual goodwill and instills in us a sense of unity and pride in the syncretic culture of Jammu and Kashmir. Sunil Kaul, AIR News, Srinagar.
In Ladakh, people gathered at designated places to perform Eid prayers on the eve of Eid ul-Fitr. In the special sermon of the Eid prayers, the speakers prayed for the peace, prosperity and harmony and urged upon people to practice the knowledge of sacrifice learned during the holy month of Ramzan throughout their life. Later, people greeting each other Eid Mubarak hugged each other. Children were seen visiting relatives with gifts and were seen enjoying Eidis.
The festival of Akshay Tritiya is being celebrated all over the country today. People believe that the festival brings good luck and success. On this day, people pray to deities to seek blessings and begin ventures to bring good fortune. Many people also buy gold on this day. Parshuram Jayanti is also being celebrated across the country today. Lord Parshuram is the sixth incarnation of Lord Vishnu. The 21-day-long Chandan Yatra of Lord Jagannath and his siblings in the holy city of Puri in Odisha commences this evening on the occasion of Akshay Tritiya. Also, as per the tradition, the work for construction of the 3 chariots for the famous Puri Rath Yatra begins on this day. All preparations have been made for the Chandan Yatra this year. Among the preparations, arrangements for the water game of the Lords, police deployment for security, traffic, drinking water, electric and health services arrangements have been made.
In Uttarakhand, the portals of the Gangotri and Yamunotri Dham have been opened for the devotees on the auspicious occasion of Akshay Tritiya today. A large number of devotees were present on the occasion. With the opening of these portals, Char Dham Yatra has started in the state. In view of the Yatra, the administration has made all the preparations and heavy police force has been deployed for security. The portals of Kedarnath Dham will be opened for devotees on Friday, while the portals of Badrinath Dham will be opened on Sunday, for which preparations are in full swing. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tributes to the revered saint and philosopher Lord Basavanna on Basava Jayanti today. In a tweet, the Vice President said Lord Basavanna was a great social reformer who believed in equality and strove to eradicate social evils like caste system and gender discrimination. Mr. Naidu said his teachings remain an eternal source of guidance for humanity. Mr. Modi in his message said thoughts and ideals of Jagat Guru Basaveshwara keep giving strength to millions of people across the world.
And now let's listen to a special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
যদি বা কোন চাবুকের দিনে তোমার মুষ্টি জাগে যেন তোমার রক্ত মিছিলে নেতাজি পুরো ভাগে যেন তোমার রক্ত মিছিলে নেতাজি পুরো ভাগে।
On the 3rd of May 1939, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose declared the formation of the Forward Bloc. It emerged as a faction within the Indian National Congress after Netaji's resignation from the presidency of the Indian National Congress in 1939.
Its constitution and program was adopted on the 22nd of June 1939 at its first All India session in Bombay, now Mumbai. In his presidential address, Subhash Chandra gave the concrete plan of action for winning Purna Swaraj in the immediate future.
After the great escape of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose on the 17th of January 1941, Forward Bloc leaders and workers came under sharp torture and humiliation. A huge number of them were put in jails and confined.
Forward Bloc was declared banned in June 1942. Forward Bloc, even when it was declared illegal, supported the Quit India movement in 1942. On the national level, leaders of the party like Sardul Singh, Sheila Bhadra, H.V. Kamath, R.S. Ruikar, K.N. Joglekar, Mukundalal Sarkar, U. Mutturamalingam Tevan were noteworthy.
After independence, the party re-established itself as an independent political party with the main stronghold in West Bengal.
We commemorate freedom fighter Jwala Prasad, who was executed by the British on the 3rd of May 1860. He belonged to Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh, and took a prominent part in the First War of Indian Independence. He led the army at Kanpur and fought in several engagements against the British forces.
He became the chief lieutenant of Nana Sahib and was also present at Satti Chora Ghat with Tantia Tope, Azimullah Khan, Bala Sahib and Tikka Singh when the British were leaving Kanpur. He was captured by the British and sentenced to death. He was executed on the gallows of Satti Chora Ghat, Kanpur, on the 3rd of May 1860. We salute this great martyr.
We also remember revolutionary freedom fighter Sushil Chandra Kumar Sen Gupta, who was martyred on the 3rd of May 1915. He was born in December 1892 in Assam and later moved to Kolkata, West Bengal. During the trial of Aurobindo Ghosh in the Alipur bomb case, when a sergeant was caning a group of agitated persons, Sushil hit him and was caned for that. For his being a member of the Maniktala group of revolutionaries, he had been set up in the Alipur bomb case, but was acquitted.
After his release, Sushil Chandra took part in the Baliaghat raid in Kolkata and in the assassination of informer Nirod Haldar in February 1915. On the 3rd of May 1915, he took part in the Khalilpur raid in Nadia, where 2 sub-inspectors and some constables tried to stop them. Sushil Chandra was shot dead by the police in the clash that ensued. We salute the great martyr.
We also remember revolutionary freedom fighter Jagdish Chandra Rai, who was martyred on the 3rd of May 1931. A resident of Dera Ismail Khan, northwest frontier province, he came to Delhi and joined the revolutionary movement. He was killed in an encounter with the police in a bus near Shalimar Bagh, Lahore, on the 3rd of May 1931. We salute the great martyr.
We also remember Indian National Army member Kesari Chand Sharma, who was executed by the British on the 3rd of May 1945. A resident of Delhi, Kesari Chand was captured by the British forces during fighting near Imphal on the Burmese front. He was tried for waging war against the King Emperor in December 1944 and sentenced to death by a court-martial. He was executed in Delhi jail on the 3rd of May 1945. We salute this great son of the soil.
We also remember martyr Bhagat Hembaram, who took part in the Quit India movement and Lathi Pahar agitation. Born at Santhal Parganas in Jharkhand, Bhagat was arrested on the 9th of May 1943 and jailed for 3 years. He died in Rajmahal jail on the 3rd of May 1944. We salute the great son of the soil.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
In weightlifting, Harshada Sharad Garud scripted history by becoming the first Indian to win a gold medal at the IWF Junior World Championships at Heraklion in Greece yesterday. Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has congratulated young player Harshada Garud for winning a gold medal in the World Junior Weightlifting Championships. Curtains will come down on the second edition of Khelo India University Games in Bengaluru this evening. Union Minister for Home Affairs and Cooperation Amit Shah will be the chief guest at the glittering closing ceremony of the Games. Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai and Union Ministers Prahlad Joshi and Anurag Thakur will be among the dignitaries present on the occasion. During the 10-day event, around 4,000 athletes from 208 universities across the country participated in 20 different disciplines. In IPL cricket, Gujarat Titans will take on Punjab Kings at the Dr. D.Y. Patil Stadium in Navi Mumbai this evening at 7:30 p.m.
A quick look at the weather update for the day. National capital Delhi is having partly cloudy sky. Minimum temperatures recorded at 29 degrees. Maximum expected to be around 39 degrees Celsius. Mumbai is expected to have partly cloudy sky. Minimum temperature was 27. Maximum expected to be around 35. Chennai is likely to have a partly cloudy sky too. Minimum temperature was 29. Maximum expected around 39. Kolkata is likely to have rain or thunder showers with strong gusty winds. Minimum temperature was 24 degrees. Maximum will be around 33. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz signed joint declaration of intent for establishing green and sustainable development partnership. Prime Minister Modi to reach Denmark today on second leg of visit to 3 European nations to hold bilateral meeting with his Danish counterpart Mette Frederiksen in Copenhagen. Prime Minister to participate in the second India-Nordic summit tomorrow. President Ramnath Kovind lays foundation stone of Bhagwan Mahavir Super Speciality Hospital at Rohini in New Delhi. Election Commission announces schedule for assembly by-election to 1 seat each in Odisha, Kerala and Uttarakhand. Portals of the Gangotri and Yamunotri shrines open for devotees on the auspicious occasion of Akshaya Tritiya. Eid ul-Fitr being celebrated with religious fervour and gaiety across the country. President, Vice President and Prime Minister extend greetings. second edition of Khelo India University Games to conclude in Bengaluru this evening. And in IPL cricket, Gujarat Titans to take on Punjab Kings at Dr. D.Y. Patil Stadium in Navi Mumbai today. And with that, we end the midday news.